If you reach for an antacid every time that burning creeps up your chest, I want to show you something that works on the cause, not just the 10 minutes after you swallow the tablet. Because here's what the antacid isn't telling you. It quiets the burn for a little while, but it does nothing about why the acid is coming up in the first place. And if you're taking one every single day, that daily habit is the real tell. The cause is still sitting there, untouched. And it's probably not just the heartburn, is it? It's waking up at 2 in the morning with a sour taste in the back of your throat. It's that little cough that won't quit, clearing your throat over and over. The hoarse voice first thing in the morning. The trouble swallowing that started creeping in. Those aren't separate problems. That's all one thing. Acid going where it was never meant to go. And it's quietly wrecking your sleep and dragging on your whole day. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 vitamins and minerals that actually help calm acid reflux. The ones the research genuinely backs. Not magic, not a one-pill miracle. Real tools that work on the root of this thing, supporting that valve, healing the lining, calming the irritation. So you're not just chasing the fire with another tablet every night. And I'll be straight with you about a couple of the popular ones that don't hold up, including one a lot of channels push hard that can actually make things worse for some people. As for number 1 on this list, it's the one almost nobody talks about. Most videos leave it off completely, and it might be the most useful one on here. But before we get into the list, there's one thing you need to understand about what's actually happening down there. Because once you see it, every single one of these is going to make sense. Let's start there. Picture the spot where your food pipe meets your stomach. There's a ring of muscle sitting right there, a valve. It's got a fancy name, the lower esophageal sphincter. But forget the name. What matters is the job. When you swallow, it opens to let food drop down into your stomach. Then it's supposed to clamp shut and stay shut, sealing all that acid down where it belongs. That's the whole game. When that valve seals properly, you don't get reflux. When it doesn't, you do. It's almost that simple. Now, you'll hear a lot of people say reflux is about having too much acid, and it's worth understanding why that's misleading, because it usually isn't about how much acid you're making at all. Your stomach is supposed to be acidic. That's normal. That's healthy. The problem isn't the amount. It's the location. It's acid ending up somewhere that has no protection against it. Think about it this way. Your stomach has a thick, tough lining built to handle acid all day long. Your esophagus, the pipe just above it, does not. So when even a perfectly normal amount of acid splashes up past that valve, the esophagus has no armor for it. That's the burn. And over time, that's the damage. So why does the valve stop sealing the way it used to? A few reasons, and they tend to stack up as you get older. Pressure from below is a big one. Extra weight around the middle pushes up on the stomach and forces that valve open when it ought to be closed. Then there's something that's incredibly common after 60, and a lot of people have it without ever knowing, a hiatal hernia. That's when part of the stomach pushes up through the diaphragm and physically weakens the seal. It's not some rare condition. It's almost ordinary with age. And then certain things relax that valve directly. Big meals, late meals, caffeine, alcohol, chocolate, peppermint, fried and fatty foods. They more or less tell that muscle to loosen at the worst possible moment. Now connect all that to your nights. Why is this always worse at 2 in the morning? Because when you're up and about, gravity is helping you. It keeps the acid down where it belongs. Lie down flat, and you've taken gravity right out of the fight. Now the acid has a straight, level path up into your throat, and that's where the rest of those symptoms come from. The acid doesn't always show up as heartburn. Sometimes it creeps all the way up to your voice box while you sleep, and you wake up hoarse, clearing your throat with that nagging cough and a wad of mucus that won't shift. People go to the doctor about the cough and never once connect it to reflux, but it's the same acid, just taking a different exit. And I'll be honest with you about why this matters beyond the discomfort. Every time that acid washes up where it doesn't belong, it irritates tissue that was never built to handle it. Do that for years, and it can lead to real damage, inflammation, scarring, changes to the lining itself. That's exactly why reflux that simply won't quit is one to take seriously. Not to panic over, but not to bury under a nightly antacid and forget about either. So that's the real target, not neutralize the acid for an hour. The target is to help that valve hold, calm the irritation, protect and heal the lining, and help your stomach clear its food faster so there's less sitting there waiting to come back up. And that is exactly where the right vitamins and minerals earn their place. Every single one on this list works on one of those jobs. So let's get into them. We're starting at number 10 and climbing up to the one that surprised me most. And I've built this list in a very deliberate order, from the ones that give you relief up to the ones that actually do repair. Hold on to that as we go, because it tells you something about each one. Number 10, calcium. You already know this one, you just might not know you know it. Calcium carbonate is the active ingredient in those chalky tablets you've probably got rattling around in a drawer somewhere. And it works. When the acid's burning and you want it gone, calcium carbonate neutralizes it fast. But I'm going to be honest with you because that's the whole point of this video. This is relief. It is not repair. It's the same thing we talked about at the start. It quiets the fire for a little while, but it does nothing about why the fire started. So why is it on the list at all? Because relief has its place. When you're lying there at midnight and the burn won't let you sleep, a calcium antacid is a fair, cheap, reach-for-it tool. Just don't lean on it every single night and call the problem solved. And go easy. Hammering calcium carbonate day after day can actually backfire and nudge your stomach into making more acid, not less. Number 9, magnesium. Magnesium is calcium's partner in a lot of those same products. Milk of magnesia is the classic. It neutralizes acid too, a little more gently, but it earns a slightly higher spot for one reason. It does more than just neutralize. Magnesium plays a real role in how your muscles work. And remember what that valve at the top of your stomach actually is, a muscle. So keeping your magnesium where it should be supports the very muscle that's supposed to be holding the line. One honest caution though, magnesium loosens things up. That's literally what milk of magnesia is sold for. Go heavy and you'll find out fast. Start low, and if your kidneys give you trouble, clear this one with whoever helps you manage that before you start. Number 8, vitamin A. Here's where we start tipping from relief toward repair. Vitamin A's job in this story is the lining. Your esophagus and stomach are coated in a layer of cells, and that layer is your actual first line of defense against acid. Vitamin A is one of the things your body leans on to keep that lining intact and to rebuild it when acid's worn it down. I'll level with you. The evidence here is more preliminary than the ones waiting for us near the top, and I'm not going to oversell it. But the logic is solid, and running low on it works against you. And you'll get plenty from food long before you'd ever reach for a pill. Liver, eggs, and the orange ones, carrots and sweet potato, plus leafy greens. Food first. Always food first. So that's the bottom of the list, the relief layer and the first toe into repair. From here it climbs because the next few stop being about patching the symptom and start being about why this keeps happening to you at all. That's where it gets good. Number 7, folate, and the B vitamins behind it. This one's a little different from the rest, and it's where this list takes a turn most videos never make. Because to understand why the B vitamins belong here, you have to think about what your reflux treatment might be doing to you. What almost nobody tells you is this. If you've been on acid-blocking medication for a long stretch, the daily kind, the prescription kind, it does its job by shutting your stomach acid down. But your stomach acid isn't only there to burn you. You need it to pull certain nutrients out of your food. Folate is one of them. So you can walk right into a quiet trap. The very thing controlling your reflux is slowly draining nutrients your body runs on. And folate isn't minor. It matters for your blood, your nerves, your energy. Running low is not a small thing. I'm not telling you to stop your medication. For plenty of people it's necessary, and it works. I'm telling you to know what it costs, and to put back what it takes, through food, through a B complex, through asking for one simple blood test. Which brings me to number 6, and this is the most important one in this whole middle stretch. Vitamin B12. Same trap, but bigger. The research on this is solid. Long-term use of those acid-blocking medications is linked to vitamin B12 deficiency, and it hits older adults the hardest. Your stomach acid is exactly what frees B12 from your food. Turn the acid down for years and your B12 can quietly slide. And this is the part I really need you to hear. A B12 deficiency in someone past 65 doesn't always look like a deficiency. It looks like getting old, the numbness or tingling in the hands and feet, the balance that's gone a little unsteady, that hesitation at the top of the stairs, the memory that's turned foggy, the bone-deep tiredness. I've watched people chalk every bit of that up to age. Just decide that's how it goes now. And the part that gets me, some of them had been on acid medication for 10 years, slowly going low on a vitamin their own treatment was draining and not one person ever thought to check. Picture that. Someone afraid of the stairs, losing names mid-sentence, certain their body is just giving out on them, when the real culprit might be a vitamin you can replace for a few dollars. That's not aging. That's a deficiency wearing aging's clothes. And it is fixable. So if you've been on these medications for years, please get your B12 checked. It's one blood test. It might explain more than you'd ever guess. And it might hand you back things you were sure you'd lost. That's the side of reflux nobody talks about. Now, back to the ones that actively help. Number 5, vitamin D. 2 reasons it's here. First, that same depletion story. Long-term acid blockers are linked to lower vitamin D too. Second, and more interesting, vitamin D calms inflammation. And remember, the damage reflux does is an inflammation problem at its core. There's growing evidence that keeping your vitamin D where it belongs supports the lining and even the muscle tone of that valve we keep circling back to. The evidence is still building. I'll be straight about that. But low vitamin D is common in older folks anyway, especially through the winter months, and correcting it pays off far beyond your reflux. Get some sun when you can. And like the others, this is one worth a simple test. Number 4, probiotics. You'll see this one sitting at number 1 on a lot of these lists. I've got it at 4. Here's the honest reason. The good bacteria in your gut really do influence digestion, how fast your stomach empties, even the nerve signals around that valve. When your gut bacteria are in good shape, the whole system tends to run smoother, with less backing up. But the research on probiotics for reflux specifically is still young. It's promising, not proven. So I won't park it at the top and pretend it's a miracle. What I'll say is this: fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi are good for you for a dozen reasons. And easing digestive pressure is plausibly one of them. Low risk, real upside, worth doing. So that's 7 through 4. We've covered relief, we've covered the hidden cost of treatment, and we've stepped into the things that genuinely help. Now we're down to the top 3, the ones with the strongest science behind them, including, at number 1, the one almost nobody puts on a list like this. Let's finish strong. Number 3, glutamine. If vitamin A helps maintain the lining, glutamine is the one that helps rebuild it. It's an amino acid, a building block, and the cells that line your gut and esophagus actually burn it as fuel to repair themselves. When that protective barrier gets worn down by acid, glutamine is part of what patches it back together. The evidence for reflux specifically is still emerging. I'll keep being honest with you on that. But the mechanism is well understood. It's why you'll often see it paired with the next one on the list, and it's gentle. You'll also find it in protein-rich foods, meat, eggs, dairy, even cabbage, so food can carry a lot of this load before a supplement ever needs to. Number 2, and now we're into the heavy hitters, zinc L-carnosine. This is zinc bound to that same amino acid family, and it is genuinely impressive. In Japan, this isn't some fringe supplement. It's an approved treatment for stomach ulcers and has been for decades. What makes it special is how it works. It doesn't just neutralize acid or float around in your bloodstream. It actually seeks out damaged tissue and clings to it, coating the raw, irritated spots in your stomach and esophagus and helping them heal. On top of that, it calms inflammation, and it even pushes back against H. pylori, the bacteria that makes reflux and ulcers worse. So this isn't relief, this is repair, the real thing. If the lining is where reflux does its damage, zinc L-carnosine goes straight to the lining and gets to work. One honest caution, because I always give you the whole picture. This delivers a fair amount of zinc, and too much zinc over a long stretch can throw off your copper levels and interfere with some antibiotics. So treat it as a use as directed for a season, not forever tool, and a good one to run past your pharmacist. And that brings us to number one, the one almost nobody talks about, melatonin. I know. Melatonin, the sleep thing. Stay with me, because this might be the most fitting pick on the whole list for the reflux you actually have. What most people don't realize is that your gut makes far more melatonin than your brain does. And down there, it does two things that matter enormously for reflux. It helps protect the lining of your esophagus from acid, and it helps firm up the tone of that valve, the one we've been circling this entire video. And there's real research behind this, not hand-waving. In studies, melatonin improved reflux symptoms on its own and worked even better alongside standard treatment. And a detail that ties this whole video together, people with reflux tend to have lower melatonin levels than people who don't. Now think about when your worst symptoms hit. At night, lying down. When the burn climbs up, the cough starts, and you're staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning. Melatonin works on exactly that window. It supports the valve and the lining at the precise time your reflux does its worst, and it helps you actually sleep through the night. One thing, two problems, landing right where it hurts most. That's why it's number one. Quick honest note, melatonin's low risk for most people. But if you're on blood thinners or other medications, run it past your pharmacist before you start. Now, I promised I'd be straight with you about a couple of popular ones to skip. So let's do that. Apple cider vinegar. You've heard it pushed everywhere. The theory is that reflux comes from too little acid, so you should add more. But remember what we learned? For most people, reflux isn't a quantity problem. It's a containment problem. The valve is the issue. So pouring more acid onto an already raw esophagus can make the burning worse, not better. It also wears down your tooth enamel, and it tangles with diabetes medication, water pills, and certain heart medications. For most people with real reflux, that risk isn't worth it. Same story with betaine HCl. That's straight stomach acid in a capsule. If your esophagus is already inflamed or you've got an ulcer brewing, more acid is the last thing you need. It rides the exact same unproven theory. I'd leave it on the shelf. So step back and take in the whole picture now. Because what I really want you to walk away with is this. These 10 can genuinely help. The lining healers, the deficiency fixers, the protector sitting at number one. But not one pill on this list beats a handful of simple, free habits. Don't eat in the 3 hours before you lie down. Keep your meals smaller. Lift the head of your bed a few inches so gravity stays on your side all night long. Ease off the late coffee, the heavy fried food, the big late dinners that shove that valve open. Do those things and let the right nutrients support the healing on top. And you're not chasing the fire with another antacid every night anymore. You're changing why it starts. And watch what eases up when it does. Not just the heartburn, the morning hoarseness, the throat you're forever clearing, that cough that won't quit, the real sleep you maybe haven't had in years. They all run back to the same source, so when you finally calm the source, they ease together. If you've been living on antacids and quietly accepting this as your life, hear me on this. It doesn't have to be. You've got more levers here than anyone ever showed you. You don't need all 10. Pick one or two, add one of those free habits, and give it a real honest month. Start tonight. Finish dinner early. Maybe pick up some melatonin. And pay attention, not just to the burn, but to how you sleep and how your mornings feel. If this gave you a clearer picture of what's actually going on and what actually helps, go ahead and subscribe. Straight talk, No miracle cures every single video. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.